focus on the measure of the Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire. I am Shirlene, and I'm going to be taking the first half of the presentation, and then Lizette will be taking the other half. To start off, we wanted to show a quick video that captures negative scenarios that turn into positive ones. And if you look to the left, there is a quote by Aristotle that says, "We are what we repeatedly do." This pretty much means that when we focus on our problems, failures, and issues, they start to become habits, and then we tend to forget the positives. Now, getting into the video. The Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire is a complementary assessment of the Negative Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire, and it's used to assess the occurrence of positive automatic cognition. The Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire measures how often a person experiences positivity in their life, but it mainly focuses on differentiating depressed patients and non-depressed patients. So this measure may be used to discriminate those who may be experiencing depression and those who are not. In this measure, the target population is people who have experienced something positive or have experienced being in a good mood, and it's usually for people with mood disorders and those who are not associated by psychological distress. And the age range is very broad because they typically look for males and females between the ages of 11 to 65 years. The Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire measures the frequency of positive self-thoughts that a person may experience, since the Negative Automatic Thoughts Questionnaires mainly focus on the negative. So the Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire is self-reported, and it consists of a 30-item measure of positive self-statements. So these statements consist of things like, "My life is running smoothly," "I am in a great mood," or "I don't give up." And with these statements, participants are then asked to answer on a 5-point Likert scale on how frequently they have these thoughts. So 1 would be never, 3 would be sometimes, and 5 would be all the time.
Hello everyone, my name is Lizette Torres and I will be doing the rest of the presentation from here on out. When looking at the reliability of a measure, we are seeing how well a test measures what it should be measuring. The articles we chose shows the reliability of the Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire through the use of convex or the Questionnaire alpha, split half reliability, and our data also includes the range of the item corrected total correlations. When looking at this total scale, the item corrected total correlations range from a minimum of 0.32 to a max of 0.78, suggesting that items measures the same construct. Now, looking at the coefficient alpha, usually the alpha that is acceptable is the score of 0.7. However, much of the data we obtained through the articles give a score of 0.9 or higher, which indicates excellent reliability. The first two articles that you see listed here of Ingram et al. In 1995 and Ingram and Wisnik in 1988 gave us scores for a split half test, and as you can see, the scores were 0.92 and 0.95, which also show great reliability. Validity is when a test measures what it claims to measure. Through our articles, we found data which shows construct validity, and this includes discriminant and convergent. The Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire is a complementary assessment of the Negative Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire, or also known as the ATQN, listed here as with showing discriminant validity. The original study by Ingram and Wisnicki in 1988 shows a correlation coefficient of 0.29, which is, as mentioned in the article, suggests that the scales share only about 8% of common variance. Therefore, Ingram stated that the scales appear relatively independent and do not suggest a bipolar relation between positive and negative thinking. The other articles show us through their data that there is an inverse correlation between these two measures with most scores of negative 0.47. Another measurement which shows us discriminant validity is the BDI measurement, also known as the Beck Depression Inventory, which is supposed to measure depression. The data we obtained was that the BDI and the Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire have an inverse correlation, and suggesting that these two measures are in fact unrelated. The Burgess and Haga article from 1984 provided information on the relationship between the ATQRP, which is a revised subscale of the original Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire assessment, to the Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire to see if the scales do in fact measure positive cognition. According to the data, the scales shared a strong positive correlation with a score of 0.74. Overall, the data indicates that the Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire is pretty valid and indicated positive thinking. How our measure generalizes to the real-world environment has some strengths and weaknesses. First of all, it's very reliable and consistent, and it can discriminate between those with depression and those without it. However, specifically, it is used for those with depressive symptoms, and it lacks of ethnic and cultural variables in research. There may be an overlap in correlation due to the measure, and there is still little evidence between positive and negative cognition. Overall, the Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire is great for measuring the frequency of positive self-thoughts. It may be useful to determine how one's positive or negative thinking may affect their state of mind. Much of the research that has been conducted using this measurement has mainly been done on undergraduate students. Therefore, future research should see whether or not the Positive Automatic Thoughts Questionnaire shows depressive symptoms, or whether it applies to anxiety symptoms as well. There also needs to be more research done in clinical settings, and overall, although it is very reliable and consistent, there still is a lack of ethnic and cultural variables. And here you may find the list of our references. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.